Today I'm going to be working on the cat shelves in the goat maternity area and getting the goat area ready for kidding season. We're also selling some hay today, so kind of planning our day around that. We already had one hay sale this morning, and then we've got one this afternoon. So it is currently 35 degrees outside, but snowing. Hi, Onslow. Let me flip you around. Hi, Onslow. Hello. Are you fine? Hi. Hey, Betty. Hi. Hi, Onslow. Like I said, it is currently 35 degrees, but it is snowing and actively melting right now, which should be interesting because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we're supposed to be in the teens in the day time, and then so it is supposed to be getting really cold. Onslow, could you pull it together, please? So anyway, I guess we're taking Onslow with us. Hey, why don't you go over there? Yeah. Okay, so I've been keeping this Dutch door kind of half closed with just the bottom open so the cats can get through. Just try to keep a little bit of heat in this room. So it is currently almost 40 degrees in the room. So generally we're about 10 degrees warmer in here than it is outside. So right now we're only about 5 degrees. It'd be better if I kept this door closed, but I got the cats outside today because I think I'm going to be keeping them in here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this next week because it's supposed to be getting so cold. So I do really want to get these shelves done so they have a place to go. So I am gonna, well, let me show you their little setup right now. So right now they have their 2 heated cat beds, and they both get put on high all day and all night. And generally when I do let them out in the barn, Onslow in particular really doesn't want to go anywhere. So in the afternoon he'll come lay on the bed, and then Winifred will generally make an appearance when I do evening chores. So they've really been enjoying their beds. And so I don't think they're going to have any problem staying in here for a few days. So I think I got about 45, 50 minutes before our next hay delivery or hay pickup. So I at least want to get going on taking the stall barriers down and getting those reconfigured. And then I can start figuring out where I want the shelf brackets to go. All right, so I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse, and I'm going to get going on this. Hey everyone, editing Max here. So it is the next day, and I have started to prepare the barn for the polar vortex that's coming. So I'm going to be prepping the goats area here, the first step for getting everyone ready for the cold temperatures. Here I'm taking out their eating hay and making it into bedding hay for them. We're supposed to get down into the negatives the next 3 days, so it's important that I get the barn ready for everyone to be nice and snug in the barn. Okay, so goats are done. They got their old bedding or their old hay made into bedding, and then I gave them new hay and got the aisleway swept up. They still need water, but I'm going to be doing water in a little bit. So next up I'm going to take care of the pigs. So the only thing that they really need for getting ready for this cold weather is I'm going to give them more bales of hay so they have extra bedding to lay in. I'm going to probably give them 4 bales. That might be a little bit much. I did just give them a couple of bales the other day, and they've got a pretty good, they're so cute right now. Put here so you can see. They've got a pretty good deep bedding right now. So maybe I won't end up giving them that much. Hey girls. Hey girls. Hey girls. Yeah. They've been really curious about that latch. Aren't you guys so silly? Aren't you so silly? You guys are silly. Okay, so that's the pigs all set. So everybody just needs water. So I know they need water. They're very happy right now. So they've got, I gave them all 4 bales. It's nice because they bed in it, but they also eat it. So it's kind of a win-win. And they also got a big bowl full of kitchen scraps this morning. So they're pretty well set. They did make it a full week last week on 100 pounds of feed with us giving them chicken scraps. But they made it a full week on the 100-pound bag. So that's really great. I did calculate it out. They've got 9 more weeks. And so it'll be about $180 for me to feed them for 9 more weeks, which is not bad at all, I don't think. So they're enjoying their hay. They're eating it now. They'll bed in it. They've really been enjoying that ball that we put in there for them. I think that was a good idea to give them a little bit of enrichment activity. So they're living their best piggy life right now. They're very excited. Lady, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey. Hey. Are you excited? Aren't you excited? Yeah. Yeah, you want to eat that? What is that? What is that? Alright. Good girl. Okay, so I'm just going to spend a little bit of time sweeping this walk. Well, yeah, I'll do it. I've got time. I'm going to spend a little bit of time sweeping this walkway. Hasn't been done in a while. And so what happens, it's not a huge deal, but what happens is they end up rooting on their side and it kind of scoops it into the walkway. And so I just try to clean that up every now and then. I think I did it 2 weeks ago. And a lot of this is actually because I put the hay bales here and then I throw them over. So I'm going to just get this cleaned up. And then, let's see, after that, as far as prepping for our below freezing temperatures the next 3 days, there's not really a whole lot left. The cow area will need probably 4 or 5 bales spread out, and they're actually going to get locked in their stall when it's for like 3 days when it's really cold. But the only other thing that I really need to do is fill up everyone's water. And then I'm going to clean up the goat maternity ward. Because it's pretty ready, but I think I want to get some, I don't know. I would like to get some of that hay out of the stalls, but I might just leave it in there for deep bedding in case, in particular, I'm worried about the boy goats. Just because they are in this big area of the barn, this stays the coldest. So if they do end up shivering too much for comfort, I will put them in the goat maternity ward for 3 days. And I have 2 stalls that will work really well for them. Morrison will get the smaller stall and Poe and Annie will get the new bigger area. And they'll be fine in there. Right now, this morning, it's about 40 degrees in there. Let me see. I think we're at like 17 degrees outside. So we're at 19 degrees right now. So I worked on plugging up a lot of the holes in that area. So there were a couple broken window panes that I just put hay in. And then the door to the outside has a pretty wide gap. It's probably like an inch gap. And so I just filled that with hay and I tried to get it nice and snug. So I do think it's already staying warmer in there. But one thing I am going to do just to try to like fill up some of the gaps out here. There aren't many, but this is probably the biggest one. So I'm just going to put a bale of hay in front of that to hopefully keep out some of the cold air. There aren't a lot of other things I can do about the gaps in the walls here. Like I'm not going to fill them up overnight. So I'm not actually all that worried about the below freezing temps. It's gotten better than what was predicted. I think we were supposed to get down to like, I saw one map that said -20. We're only supposed to get to like -4, maybe one of those nights. The rest of in the daytime were above freezing, so I'm not really worried about it. The worst thing is the wind chill, and they're in the barn anyway, so I'm not really stressed about it that much. So everyone is pretty well insulated. I will probably do things like give everyone extra grain. Not enough that it would upset their rumens, but enough that it will help them heat themselves. Okay, so I got that walkway swept, and I think I'm actually going to get going on doing the water because that takes about an hour to fill up everyone's water, depending on how low things are. So it's kind of silly for me to wait to do that last. I should just get that started and do things while I'm waiting for the water to fill up. So I'm going to go get the hoses. So they've been in the commercial kitchen because we have been heating it in there. And so what I do is I've got them all wrapped up in like a trash can that has wheels, and I roll that out to do the water. So I'm going to go show you guys that. So last night, Julia and I came out with plastic and some hay twine, and we plastic wrapped our fruit trees. Yeah, I know they look a little silly, but it was in the name of trying to keep them alive. So you can see there's 5. So we were doing pretty good, but the deer discovered the fruit trees. And I'm just not in a place right now where I'm going to be putting up a fence around these. So, I thought about fences for quite a while about how to fence in up here, and I just don't have anything that I really want yet. And I don't want to put up something that looks kind of, half-baked. So we thought this might be the best bet. So we used the clear plastic because that's what we had, but also so they can get sunlight still through there. They're pretty loosely wrapped. So the problem is these are small trees, and the deer here are really horrible. So they come right up, and we don't have an outside dog. We don't have really any deterrent for them not to come up here. And we're pretty rural, so it's not like there's neighbors nearby that will scare them off. Hi, Winifred. So they come right up in the evening, and they're getting hungry because it's cold. So they've started to eat our trees. All right, so I like this Flexilla hose because it's flexible and I can bend it up and put it in the trash can and move it around. So the problem that I find, I had bought those really thick insulated hoses, the black ones, the heavy duty. I bought so many of those last year, or maybe it was the year before last. They're pretty much all gone at this point. I do not like those. So yes, they're insulated, but that also means that they're insulated on the inside, which means that if your hose freezes, it's going to take forever to thaw. Which is a huge problem. These ones are flexible, so you can break up the ice if you do have your lines frozen. The black ones are also, they're not bendy, so they're very unwieldy when you're trying to move them around the barn. It's horrible. And so I really like these. This has been working really good. Yes, it is still kind of a lot to take this outside every time I need to fill up water, but I have enough bins out there that I really only fill up probably twice a week. And so it's just easier to bring all the hoses inside where because I do heat this building. And so right now I'm not even like keeping it that warm in here. I'm just keeping it enough so that it doesn't freeze. I think right now I've got it at 46 degrees in here. So it's not that warm, but I just don't want my hoses to freeze. In the summer, I'll leave these hoses outside all the time and it won't be a big deal. So you can see I've got my hoses. They're right here in the bucket. So I think I've got 3 lengths of hoses here. I think I have 2 75 footers and a 50 foot. So it's just far enough to get me where I need to go. So I can go all the way. So I hook it up at the spigot and I go through the goat area and I can reach all the way through the barn to the calves area. And the nice thing is, then I can take the hose out of the barn and take it to the new cow area, and it's just enough to get to the water bin. So I also, if I need to, because we've turned off the water to the second commercial kitchen, it's just it is also convenient that I can bring it in here because they're in that utility room right there where the door is open. There's a water hookup as well because that's where the water tank is. When he's crying to get in. So I can, if I need to, just use that to then snake it outside to go fill up the cows area. Anyway, so I'm going to get this into position, and we let the cats out today, but I just don't think they really like it. Editing Max here again. So my camera died about halfway through me filling up the water and my hands were going numb, so I wanted to get it done instead of charging up my camera. Got everything filled up. Thanks for joining us. Wish us luck getting through this vortex. Bye.